Hi, in this video, we are talking about the trigonometric ratio values for angles above 90 degrees. To understand this concept better, I suggest please watch my previous videos. That is level 1 completely, which is having 3 parts. So let us go here. Uh, when the angle value is above 90, then how do we calculate the trigonometric ratio values? That is the main concept of this video. For that, let me take point by point. So the first point to remember is if I take the trigonometric ratios, all the ratios are present in coordinate axis. I take coordinate axis x, y dash, and this is the x dash. All the 6 ratios are present in all the 4 quadrants. This entire region is divided into 4 equal parts. Let us say quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. That we denote Q1 for first quadrant, Q2 for second quadrant, Q3 third quadrant, and Q4 fourth quadrant. Okay, so if I start taking angle from here, here to here it is a 90 degrees, and here to here it is 90, means 0 to 180, and this is 90, it is 270, 270 plus 90, 360. Here angle always we take in anti-clockwise direction. Means when the angle is 0 to 90 degrees, that belongs to quadrant 1, and 90 to 180 quadrant 2, 180 to 270 quadrant 3, 270 to 360 quadrant 4. It's like that. Then all the 6 ratios are present in every quadrant, but according to quadrant the sign of the ratio will be changing. To understand easily better, you remember this statement, which is called positive statement. We take all students take coffee. Okay. This statement is called positive statement, means it explains about only the positive ratios. Here the first word all stands for quadrant 1, and this students stands for quadrant 2, and take quadrant 3, and coffee for quadrant 4. Then how do we use this to understand in which quadrant which ratio is positive or negative? In quadrant 1, I said this statement is called positive statement. This explains about only the positive signs. So in quadrant 1, all are positive. That in the sense, in first quadrant, all means all the 6 ratios are positive. Means in first quadrant, sine, cosecant, cos, secant, tan, and cot. All the 6 ratios are positive in quadrant 1. This everything is positive over here in first quadrant. And in Q2, from students, just we take only the first letter S. The ratio starting with S sine and its reciprocal cosecant. These two only positive in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, sine and cosecant. These two only positive. So in the second quadrant, sine and cosecant. Only these two are positive. The remaining, all the 4 are negative. Okay, this only the positive. Remaining 4 are negative. And next, coming to quadrant 3. In quadrant 3, first letter with T, tan and cot. These two only positive. All the remaining are negative. So in the third quadrant, tan and cot. These two only positive, and the remaining 4 are negative. And in quadrant 4, starting with C, that is the cos and its reciprocal secant. These two only positive, all the remaining are negative. In fourth quadrant, cos and secant. These two only positive, remaining all are negative. So this statement helps to identify the sign of the trigonometric ratio according to the existence of the ratio in particular quadrant. Okay, this is a point number one you need to remember. And coming to second point, here in second point, what we learn is uh, when an angle is given above 90 degrees, we need to identify the particular angle belongs to which quadrant. That in the sense, if the angle is from 0 to 90, it must belongs to first quadrant. Or when we complete one complete angle, when we start here 0 to 360 completed, and in case of it is above 360, again it enters into first quadrant. Means any angle below 90 or above 360 that we consider it belongs to quadrant 1, that we write like this: any angle below 90 in the sense that is a 90 minus theta, means some angle we are subtracting from 90, it becomes below 90, and above 360 means 360 plus something, means 360 plus theta. When you see this type of angle, that belongs to quadrant 1. And coming to second quadrant, 0 to 90 completed when the angle is above 90, and this is a 180. So below 180, that belongs to quadrant 2. Any angle above 90, below 180. How do you write that above 90? We write 90 plus something, means 90 plus theta. And below 180, that we write 180 minus theta. These two angles belongs to quadrant 2. The same way, coming to third quadrant. Here to here it is 180, it is above 180 and below 270. Means any angle above 180, that we write 180 plus theta and 270 minus theta. These two angles belongs to quadrant 3. And coming to fourth quadrant, it is above 270, below 360. That we write 270 plus theta or 360 minus theta. These angles belongs to quadrant 4. Okay, this helps to identify which angle is in which quadrant. Okay, and next, whenever we are talking about the negative angle, let us see what happens. Negative angle means when we measure the angle in anti-clockwise direction, that is a positive. When angle is measured clockwise direction, that is a negative. So always we start from initial point. This is we consider here this at 0 degree, and if the angle is measured clockwise direction, the first entry of the angle is in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant means the negative angle we consider in fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, cos and secant both are positive, all are negative. Keeping that in view, for negative angle, we get the result like this. So that we see in point 3. In the third point, we are talking about the negative angle. Means sine of minus theta. Remember, this negative angle belongs to fourth quadrant. Only cos and secant are positive, all are negative. Since it is a sine, the result is minus sine theta. And cos of minus theta, since it is in a fourth quadrant, cos is positive, so we get cos theta. Cos and secant, these two only positive, all are negative. So tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Then the remaining three angles we take. Cosecant of minus theta is minus cosecant theta, and secant of minus theta is secant theta. Since it is in fourth quadrant, cos and secant two only positive. Then cot of minus theta is minus cot theta. Okay, this is a point 3 you need to remember. and coming to point 4. Okay, in point 4, uh, we talk about how the trigonometric values whenever angle is above 90 are going to change. Okay. So let us apply these rules, and so let me explain the point 4. In that case, here there is a change of the ratio according to the angle. Here that we write as the two sets. Let me take the first set is whenever the angle is 90 degrees or 270 degrees. It is a one set. Later I will explain how to use all these 4 points in finding the values of trigonometry ratios for whenever the angle is above 90 degrees. And second set, let me take, it is 180 degrees or 360 degrees. So whenever the angle is 90 degrees or 270 degrees, the ratios will change like this. Sine changes into cos, cos changes into sine. Remember, this is not reciprocal. Okay, and tan changes into cot. Only this is the reciprocal. And cot changes into tan. Cosecant changes into secant. And secant changes into cosecant. For angle 90 or 270, the ratios change like this. In case of the angles are 180 or 360, there is no change at all. So every ratio remains same. Sine remains sine, cos remains cos, tan remains tan. Similarly, that everything, cosecant remains cosecant, secant remains secant, and cot remains cot. Okay, here we learned 4 important points. This all the 4 important points are very important in finding the trigonometry ratio values whenever the angle value is above 90. So let me take few examples and how do we apply all these 4 points in evaluating the trigonometric ratio values for angle value above 90. See, for example, uh, I want to find say some cos of 330 degrees value. I need to find cos 330. For this, we go like this. The cos I am writing. Here, whatever the angle, if it is above 90, write down this as a combination of 90 plus or minus, or 180 plus or minus, or 270 plus or minus, or 360 plus or minus. But when you are using 90, 180, 270, 360, prefer the highest value. Okay, so out of 90, 180, 270, 360, what is the highest value preferably here we take, that is a 360. Okay, so 330 degrees you can write as 360 minus 30, which is exactly equal to 330. This is the first step you need to write, means angle split into some 180 plus or minus or like that. Okay, so and second step is just you check this angle. Okay, nothing else. Just you check this angle. So whenever the angle is 360, whether this cos is going to change or not. In point number 4 we discussed for 180 or 360 the ratio is not going to change. Since it is 360, whatever this ratio cos remains cos as it is. Then write down this angle as it is. Don't worry about this plus or minus, just write down this angle as it is. So 30 degrees we wrote. And in next step we check this complete bracket value. It is like 360 minus theta. So by using this 360 minus theta or 180 plus theta, 180 minus theta, that we decide in which quadrant the cos is going to lie. So 360 minus theta, that must be in fourth quadrant. Means cos theta belongs to fourth quadrant, and give the sign of that cos theta in fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, cos is positive, so this remains positive. So cos 30 is this value. Then finally you can write cos 30 value. From the table in the previous videos, I gave all the values 0 to 90 degrees, the most frequently required values. Cos 30 is going to be root 3 by 2. Then cos 330 value is root 3 by 2. So uh, I'll take another example. I want to find tan of 210 degrees. Okay. So tan I'm writing, and split 210 into something like 90 plus or minus, or 180 plus or minus, or 270 plus or minus. It is up to you. Here uh, I split this 210 into 180 plus 30 degrees. Or you can write that 270 minus 60 degrees also. No problem. You'll be getting the same thing. Even I'll explain by taking 270 minus 60. Then again, do you remember here first we see only this angle. If this is 180 or 360, this is not going to change. So for 180 the tan remains tan, and just we write whatever the angle here, 30 degrees. And we check complete value. It is like 180 plus theta. 180 plus theta belongs to third quadrant. As we know, in third quadrant tan theta is positive. This is positive. Just write down tan 30 value. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Okay. You may ask me, what happens if I take here 270 minus 60 instead of 180 plus 30? Let us see what happens. No problem, you'll be getting the same thing. So we'll check it out. I'm taking the same value, tan of 210 degrees, by writing this value in different way. Tan of, here if I write 270 minus 60, which is equivalent to 210 degrees. And here if it is a 270 or 90 degrees, this must change. For 180 or 360, this is not going to change. For 90 or 270, it must change. For 270, tan changes into cot, so I'm writing cot, and this angle 60 as it is. Further, 270 minus theta belongs to third quadrant. In third quadrant, tan is positive, so this remains positive. Just write down cot 60 degrees value. Cot 60 is nothing but 1 by root 3. So however you write this 210 as 180 plus theta or 270 minus theta, the result will be same. Okay. I hope you understood this concept. So in next videos, anyway, while solving the real-time questions, we are using the same concepts. So practice and be ready for next video. Thank you for watching this video.